and welcome. I'm Excellent, and this is my podcast. So, of course, Rob is here. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Tracy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
When's the last
It's
time we did a podcast?
been a while now, hasn't it?
Did we? I think we did do one in October, but I can't remember what it was about.
It was about Halloween, about the 31 days of Halloween.
It was. Didn't we do one? It was about. Didn't we do that after the Halloween? I don't know. It's been a minute. That's all I know.
Mm.
We had done two previous to that ended up in the trash.
I think two.
We did two that ended up in the trash, yeah.
I know we definitely did one. What we're doing?
Yeah, and then we had another one that was about, I can't remember what that one was about, but that ended up in the trash too. And then we were like, that's it for a while. And not that they were bad topics, they were good topics. It's just that both of them, we went way off script and just talked like I forgot I was was being recorded. Just having a conversation. Nobody's gonna hear it. Not that I said anything bad. It was just all over the place. I can't remember, but I know that we didn't. We started it. We did one, and we trashed it. And we did another one, and the first one we got on the topic of religion, but we started off talking about. Well, I was telling you about it, a documentary I watched about what the definition of crazy is. And we got to talking about, I can't remember, some serial killer. And somehow that veered off. And then the next one, I don't know. I can't remember. I will as soon as I get off of this. It's going to bother you, isn't it?
A little bit, but it'll be fine. I can live with it.
Okay, so what we're doing today is we're just having a little conversation with the people and getting caught up. Talk about our Christmas holiday and New Year. And you don't have a Thanksgiving, obviously. But I might throw my Thanksgiving in because it's included in the holidays. And yeah, we're just going to do that. What do you think?
Yep.
Get ready for this new year. Yep. 2023. We live in the future, Rob.
We certainly do.
Isn't that weird?
2023.
It's hard to get your brain around. Like, we're far further along than Back to the Future.
Really?
Yeah. That was like 2021 or something. Yeah, we're past that.
I love Back to the Future films.
Do you?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, I like them too. As a matter of fact, I was just watching a movie with oh my goodness, the kid who played. Oh, he's not a kid, but he was then. Who played Elephant Man, and he was supposed to play Marty McFly, but and he started off as Marty McFly in the movie, but then they decided he wasn't working. He wasn't in The Elephant Man. He was in that movie. I feel stupid right now. I can't think of anything. He was in the movie with Cher, and his body, he had Elephant Man disease.
He was in the movie with what?
Cher. He was in a movie with Cher, and he had Elephant Man disease. Rob, your job is telling me to remember these things.
You've lost me completely with the Elephant Man.
He wasn't in the Elephant Man. He had Elephant Man disease.
Oh, sorry. Bruce Willis.
Oh, he was a kid at the time.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Completely lost me.
I'm gonna figure it out because Eric Stoltz. Eric Stoltz, Sam Elliott was in there too. Sam Elliott is delightful. Anyway, I'm watching a movie right now with Eric Stoltz and the woman who played his mom, who played. I gotta start over. I can't take it.
Let's start the podcast over.
Yeah, I can't take it.
Why?
I lost some brain cells somewhere over the holiday.
That'll be okay.
It doesn't matter. Before we get started, if you would love to like this delightful video, please do so. And if you would like to be subscribed, please do so. And there's a little heart down under this video that says thanks or thank you. And that is like a tip. It's like a little tip jar, like I'm here playing the piano for you. And YouTube gave that to me, so I feel special now. But if you want to leave a little something, that's fine. Obviously, you do not have to. Anyway, so that's that. That's the housekeeping. So I'm going to start off at Thanksgiving. Okay?
Yeah.
For the holidays. My Thanksgiving was really good. We decided that we were not going to eat at home. I live in this place that I can't accurately describe, or it gives it away. But you can, we call it the island, people who live here, because everything you need is here, and you can just walk to it. And I'm gonna leave it like that. It's it's a building. It's a locked building, and it's tall. So anyway, there was a restaurant here on the island that was open for Thanksgiving, and it's called None of Your Business. I guess I can't even say that. And so we decided that we were going to go there, and it's a fancy restaurant, so we dressed up and went over there, and they had like a Thanksgiving dinner you could get, or you could get, it was an Italian restaurant, or you could get their Italian food stuff. And my husband and I and my two youngest, which is a boy and a girl, we went, and they had already put our like 40-foot tall Christmas tree up in our little island, and every tree had lights all over it. And they just that night started playing Christmas music over the speakers. And so it was, and the restaurant is on like a little river. And it was super magical and wonderful, and I loved it. So that was the kickoff to my. I'd already had my Christmas tree up. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I do gotta admit that I had already started in the Christmas mode, but it was really the kickoff here for my voice. By the way, I don't know what's happening. I think I'm going through puberty. Please forgive me for the scratchiness. But that was kickoff to our Halloween, to our holiday season, and it was lovely. And then we move into Christmas. We had a company Christmas party that was at this really lovely restaurant that I read just a few days ago was like one of the top restaurants in Texas. So I I was not aware of that. It was lovely. It was kind of dark and like nicely lit, and we had just about 30 people there all together, and that was it was really nice, and I got to dress up, and as Rob can tell you that I planned my outfits way in advance, like obsessively. So that was fun. That was really nice. And then the next week, then a few days later, my husband went on vacation for 2 weeks. So that was going in towards Christmas. So I'll tell you about my Christmas and New Year's after you tell me about your Christmas and New Year's. I have had a lot going on for Christmas and New Year's. So you did as well. So why don't you go ahead and share what you did?
Well, I had my daughters from when they broke up from school and up until Christmas Eve, and then I took them home. I had them until Christmas Eve because Christmas Eve is my birthday.
Yes, we have to say everybody tell Rob happy birthday, Rob.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, I took them on Christmas Eve, and then I got them back on the 29th. The 29th? Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, the following Thursday.
Yeah, and I'm over New Year's. We had a nice time New Year's Eve. Bit crazy, but nice. And it was all rounded off by a huge firework display by my friend who is obsessive about fireworks.
Nice.
Really,
So you went to a party.
We went to a party, yeah.
Yeah. Last year on New Year's Eve, you called me from a club, the pub, whatever you.
Yeah.
What, and had your American say Happy New Year's to to everybody in there. Remember that?
Yeah.
And they were all excited because they were like, "Oh my God, she's American."
Everybody needs an American.
Everybody needs an American. Yeah, well, you're my Brit, so.
Yeah.
I always say to people, I have a best friend. He lives in England. And they're like, New England? No. The first one.
The original.
The original. Nothing new one. And then they struggle with two things. My best friend lives in England. Also, my best friend is a he. Yep. Yep. That's true. Well, for my Christmas, I had a bunch of stuff planned. Okay. Last year we went and stayed at a resort and it was amazing. And this year we decided that I was going to do this whole production, right? Like I decorated our place to like I don't know that there were spaces left on the walls.
within an inch of its life.
Yeah, I had like these inflatable Christmas ornaments that are like 3 feet tall, and this 4 foot Santa, and I mean, if big was fine, and I have these banners that come down. They're as tall as I am. I wanted it to feel magical. Was that not my key word for that holiday
Yep.
season? Yes, I want it to be magical. Magical. It needs to be magical. My son lives with me, my youngest son, and my youngest daughter was coming, and she was supposed to be here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and somehow that turned into Christmas Eve night or Christmas Eve day. No, that's not right, Rob. She came Christmas morning. Yeah, she came Christmas morning and then spent the night. So in the meantime, I still wanted to be magical and all that stuff. And I'm just gonna say that my son has struggled with the COVID situation. Um, when it very, very first started in 2020, we were on vacation in Arizona, and there was just a small part of Washington State that they were talking about. In fact, I think it was 15 people. But there was like a whole bunch of horror stories starting to come rolling out, right? And my whole family lives in Washington State. I'm from Washington State. My dad had gotten sick, and with a respiratory illness. He had called his doctor, and his doctor said, "Don't go to the hospital. Only go to the hospital if you think you're going to die." And P.S., we don't have any COVID on this side of the state. That's what the big deal was. We don't have any of that on this side of the state, so you'll be fine. So we were actively reading out loud from the newspaper these horrors, not really the newspaper, the online newspapers, these horror stories, about things that were happening. This 17-year-old boy whose lungs exploded, and unbeknownst to me, my son was really taking this in. He was at the time 17. So they were starting to close down, and you know, um, what's the word? You had to stay in your house.
Currency, no currency.
Yeah, they were doing well. Whatever. We had something like that. We had to quarantine everybody.
Yeah.
So we didn't know if we were even going to be able to get back into our state. So as somebody who has anxiety, mine was on full tilt. We didn't leave early because we were meeting my grandson for the first time. So it was hectic. When we got home, my dad did end up going to the hospital, and he passed away. Terrible death, because we didn't. Nobody knew anything about it. Nobody knew what to do. They didn't have ventilators. You just suffocated to death, and so that was in my son's head. And I have comorbidities. I have asthma. I have 2 autoimmune disorders. So, of course, as somebody who has anxiety, it was a little bit panicking for me. Like, I'm never gonna leave the house again. Let's let's like gorilla glue the windows and the doors shut. Just live in a bubble. What do you think? So anyway, so that was affecting my son, and I didn't really know it at the time, but he started becoming uh, very. He started washing his hands until his skin would peel off and he would bleed, and he wouldn't leave the house. This is necessary. This is a necessary story to tell you. Okay. It was very, very dark, very, very difficult. The first year was incredibly intense. as Robb can attest to it. It was very scary. And we got him help, but he still struggles, right? So he doesn't leave the house like hardly ever. He goes and he gets a vaccine and he comes back. He will go diving because he's breathing, air that can't be infected. So he will go diving with my husband. But in general, he's not going to go walk through a mall or, hang out with people. So we're still slowly but surely getting him to go out, getting him to go to dinners occasionally, trying to help him. So I had this big magical Christmas, and that came with we're going out into public. Ta-da! So Christmas Eve, we have this whole thing planned out. We're gonna go see the new Avatar movie. Thank you, Rob. See, now you're back on duty again. And we're gonna go see Avatar, and we're gonna go to one of those restaurants where you the seats lean back and they're warm, and you order like real food and stuff like that. And we're gonna go see it in 3D. It's very exciting. My son is nervous, but he's on board. We get out to our truck, and my husband had gone. Now, for those of you who don't know, Texas went through an Arctic freeze. So for 2 days before this, I have a sprinkler system that comes out onto my balcony that in case there's a fire. Duh. And it's kind of exposed to the elements, the sprinkler head. And where I live, 30 sprinkler heads and pipes exploded, flooding all of those 30 apartments, things beneath us. We have little storage units and stuff, flooding those. And when that happens, the fire alarm goes off for at least an hour every time, because the fire department has to come. They have to make sure there's no fire, and then they have to repressurize the pipes. The pipes bursting is what sets off the fire alarm. So that goes on for an hour, and it's earth-shattering, this noise. Used in pre-war prisoner torture. That's what I think. So it had been doing that 30 times in the previous 2 days. Okay? And all the night before Christmas Eve, all night. I mean, all night. It didn't care. Going off. And we would sit there. It's not a fire, but then on the other hand, you're thinking, what if this is the time it's a fire? And I'm just putting a pillow over my head, laying in bed. So you're still on edge. So my husband had gone down to start the truck. So we, it could be warm-ish. And then he turned the truck off, came back, and got us, and we all walked down to the truck. And as soon as we got there, he goes, "Oh, shit." And we saw it at the same time that there was apparently no oil left in our truck because it was all over the ground, all over the cement, oil everywhere. And as you know, that's not good. Everybody knows that's a bad sign, right? So it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes till our movie starts. And this is how my brain works. Holy shit. I already bought the tickets. You do whatever you got to do. I'm going to get on the phone and get my money back. Because that's how my brain works. Oh my God, we're going to lose all this money. So I'm in that process of doing that. And my husband is standing there for the first time I've ever seen him. Actually, it's the second time. One time we had an apartment flood, and he stood there in the middle of ankle deep water, like his brain had left him. And this was happening again. And so I was like, first off, we got to get in the house because we're going to lose fingers and toes at this rate. So we can go in the house and stare at it with frozen tears, as well as we can do that like standing here, right? So we go back in the house, and I'm just like bummed because this was the first of the magical things we were going to do. And then we had dinner that night, and we were going to a really great restaurant that Robb's daughter has a fondness of, wants to see, um, and so I was in charge of taking the pictures, right, Rob?
You were, yeah. We allowed to say what it is, or
You can go ahead and say it if you want. You can tell why.
it was The Big Bang Theory, the TV
Mm-hmm.
show. It
Mm-hmm.
was where Penny worked, the Cheesecake Factory,
Mm-hmm.
and she got obsessed with the big Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, and um, what? I have never been to the Cheesecake Factory except to pick up cheesecakes, but we take them home.
Mm.
So I'd never been there, so I was excited to go and take pictures for Keisha, and Keisha wanted to know like if we met the character there and stuff, which was adorable. Anyway, we came in and we were like, okay, here's the deal. My daughter, who was coming, she drives my car. So we have another vehicle. And on Christmas we had things to do where we were leaving the house, but she was going to be here, so we had a vehicle. That night for Christmas Eve we did not, but it's within a very short walking distance. Uh, I mean like very short. And so we decided, well, so that's taken care of. So we decided that we're not even going to think about this truck thing until Tuesday. And, we're going to even take Monday after Christmas off because we want to enjoy our Christmas presents and stuff. And we don't want to start thinking about what blew out of my husband's truck, which is 2 years old. And so anyway, that night, so we had gotten up early to go to the movies. And if you guys, I've told you, I am, because we were going to go to the movies, which is 3 hours long. We were going to come home. We were going to go to a church service, and then we were going to go to dinner. That was the day's plan. We were going to go sing hymns, and it was going to be a candlelight church service. And, that's Christmas to me from my childhood. So that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to make everything like, fun and
Magical.
so magical. There you go, Rob.
Mm.
So we came home and we were like, I'm just gonna go back to bed because I'm a night owl. Everybody in my house is a night owl. We stayed up and only got a couple hours of sleep before we had to get up to go to the movie. So that's fine. We go back to bed. We slept through church. God's probably gonna talk to me about that, but I was tired. But we get up, and I have this pre-planned outfit that I'm gonna wear. It's gonna be magical. It's a dress. I've had it planned out for a long time. but I'm going to wear this dress, and it's super cute. And I bought jewelry and shoes for this dress, but it's an Arctic freeze. And even though it's just like a hop and a skip from where I live, I don't want to walk there in a dress and high heels, and I didn't really have a coat that would go with it. So I changed to an outfit that was completely different, which was fine. Not great, but it was fine. We go to the restaurant. That's great. It was a lot of fun. Everybody was in a great mood. I took a bunch of pictures. I accidentally took a video with my flash on, so I blinded everybody, and they were literally putting their arms and hands up in front of their face, like, "What the? It's for Keisha. Just say hi." They didn't get it. They didn't appreciate it. So that's day one. That we went out that night. Okay, we went out. It was packed. We had a reservation, but we got in. It was fine. It was packed. And if anybody's been to the Cheesecake Factory, you practically sit on each other's laps. In the booths, they have the booths lined. They're like 18 inches apart. So we go home. We had set it so that all of our Christmas lights, we have these battery operated candles everywhere in the windows and everywhere, that they would all be lit, and we would walk home and it'd be magical, and it was lovely, except for there's two guys sitting next to us who shared a mother and not a father, and I know way too much about their lives, and it was a very therapeutic night for them. Let's just say that mom was talked about. It was very funny to, I don't know, to be sitting there listening to the stuff, because first off, I just want to go like, "You think that's bad? Please." But anyway, so it's very lovely. My daughter's going to be coming the next early afternoon, and we're going to go to the Gaylord Texan. I think there's 4 Gaylord resorts in the United States, I think. And it's where we went last year for Christmas, or we stayed at the resort. But this time we're going Christmas night for dinner. We get there, there's a million people. Trying to find a parking space was funny. We finally ended up at the very top of the parking garage, and then we found out that the elevator didn't work. So that was good. So we went back down and we got a parking space finally, and we're in an Arctic freeze, still there. So I had planned this gold velvet, beautiful velvet dress with this gold belt that is, it's like a ribbon, and it has these gold and fake jewels and stuff. It's supposed to go around a wedding dress, but it's like fancy Christmas dress attire, right? So I was gonna put that around the waist, and I had beautiful shoes to go with it, and instead I ended up wearing this entirely black outfit. And I had gotten dressed in my room, and now the black outfit was it was beautiful. Okay, so it was beautiful, but I also wore these like real clunky Doc Martin Mary Janes patent leather with it, and ankle socks. So I looked in the mirror and I was like, "Look at me! I'm going to Christmas dinner dressed like Wednesday Addams." I walked out of my bedroom, and every single one of us was dressed from head to toe in black. So I thought, this actually is the Addams family. And it was funny. Like all that gold and sparkle I had intended had just gone. Nope. Wednesday. So we get in there. We were late. We wanted to walk around and see everything first and then eat dinner, but we were late because of the parking situation. So we just went ahead and went to our dinner reservation. And last year we had eaten on one side of the restaurant, and this year they started bringing us into there's a middle, and then there's two sides that are like not outside, but because it's inside the hotel, but it's like a atrium, huge, huge, huge place. This place is huge. And so we had been out on this patio. The river runs along, and they were taking us inside. And I was like, oh, I don't want to eat inside. I want to be out because you can hear the Christmas music. They have massive, massive decorations, sparkles. And we took a left and we went out on this patio that was almost private. There was two other tables. We were right on the river that runs through this hotel. Yeah, a river runs through the hotel. And we were sat right next to this beautiful Christmas tree, and underneath all these gorgeous decorations with they have these lights that look like they're candles. I don't know how to explain them. It doesn't matter. But like a candlelit table, cloth tablecloth, cloth napkins, this beautiful gold setting for silverware and plates, and like this like a robin's egg blue. It was just, it couldn't have been more perfect if I had gone and planned every single detail. And my husband, for some, I don't even know what reason, decides that he's going to order octopus and he's going to convince the kids to try it. He knew that he wasn't even, don't even start with me. They're too smart to eat. It's not okay. So the waitress comes up and she's talking to us, and she turns around and walks away, and she coughs. And of course, my son has a bead on that. Like, zip. Our waitress is coughing. And she comes back. She goes, sorry, I breathed in the wrong pipe, which I don't think is a thing. I don't think you can breathe in the wrong pipe, but okay. Sorry, I breathed in the wrong pipe. And my son is staring at me like emergency, abort mission. And I was like, it's fine. She sounds fine. She's fine. So we ordered this. Oh my God. We had this beautiful dinner. I had the best wine I've ever had. It's perfect. And then we walk around and we enjoy everything. And then we still haven't opened our Christmas presents yet because because once you open Christmas presents on Christmas, to me, it feels like Christmas is done. Like, Christmas presents are open, the end. Yeah, there's going to be dinner and everything, right? But there's nothing to look forward to anymore. So I had specifically planned that opening Christmas presents was going to be the last thing that we did. I planned it down to the lighting in our house, didn't I, Rob?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. How we were going to do the lighting and the candles and the tree and the atmosphere. When I was growing up, when we would open presents at my grandparents' house, we always did it at night, and they always had it like dimly lit. Not so you couldn't see anything, but it was just cozy, and there was food everywhere, and we had made cookies, and we had all the stuff set out, cheeses and meats and all the stuff set out, and well, it wasn't then; it was going to be when we got home. So it was beautiful. It was magical. It was stunning. It was everything I wanted it to be and more. We get home. Again, I have the whole place set up. Everything that's on a battery is on a timer. Had everything timed so that it would be on when we walked in. It would be magical and lit up, and all the decorations would be lit up, and it was just it was lovely. So I went to YouTube and I got the fireplace, put it on my TV, because
I do that as well now.
it's relaxing, isn't it?
It's lovely.
I told you it was lovely. It was very nice. So so anyway, so I get that on. We like move some stuff around so we're sitting where everybody can see everybody, and everything's going lovely. We open presents. It was lovely. I got some truly lovely gifts and personal gifts, and we had gotten the kids something that they really really wanted, and my kids, they're 20 and 24, but we had gotten them something they really really wanted for their computers, uh, and they were very excited, and I had a present coming for, oh God, since Thanksgiving night for my husband that had been nothing but a pain in the ass to get here on time on Rob.
It's still not come yet?
No, it did. It came. It was here. It was here. He opened it that night. But
Oh, right. Sorry.
yeah, it was unbelievably ridiculous. But it made it worth it because it was the only present that I knew he was going to get that he was going to be like actually surprised about. Because when you're an adult and you can buy your own things, but
Yeah.
you save things to tell people for Christmas. You can give me this, and I always have like a little list, and I shoot my husband off stuff all year long. I do. But so I have a generally a pretty good idea what I'm going to get, but lately he's been stepping it up a notch and getting stuff outside of my list that really surprised me, and I wanted to do that for him. And so it was lovely. It was great. Um, I got my daughter everything there is in the world to protect a single woman living in her own apartment,
Mm-hmm.
um, which she thought was funny and also appreciated greatly. And that was, we stayed up late. We were still opening presents into like not Christmas time anymore, like the next day. And then so we stayed up late and had cookies and all that good stuff, right? So my daughter gets up the next day and she's gonna go home. And my son says his eyes hurt. There's a pressure behind his eyes. And I'm like, like everybody else in this country, I say it's probably allergies because I've been having sinus issues for weeks, months now, sinus infections, and I was like, it's probably allergies. There's this thing that happens in Texas where when it freezes, this certain kind of pollen drops out of trees because that's the only time it can pollinate is if it gets down to freezing, and it's called some sort of like Austin flu or something. But anyway, so I thought I'd been having that, and my husband had allergies, been doing allergies, and it's fine. And then later in the night, he's like, my throat feels like there's shards of glass, and they're on fire, and they're burning through my skin. And you're like, drama queen. But as it turns out, somewhere in those 2 days, I think it had to be, I don't, personally, I think the timing had to be the Cheesecake Factory, but we did have a coughing waitress. My son got COVID. Really bad. He was having a hard time breathing. He lost his smell. He lost his taste. His head. He tested positive for 12 days in a row. He took his first negative test yesterday. So immediately, all the magical things I had to do, because we were still going to go to this Hallmark village, this village that Hallmark puts on, of this light show, and all these little Hallmark, quote unquote Hallmark looking shops like you would see in a Hallmark movie that sell fudge and hot chocolate and homemade stuff. Like if you've ever watched Hallmark movies, Christmas movies, you know what I'm talking about. It's like being on a movie set, right? And so I was stoked about that. That was like, for me, that was the epitome of yay. And we still had to do that, and we had to reschedule that we were going to go to Robb, the Blue People, Avatar, and everything got canceled. We did nothing. I live in a loft where the walls don't go all the way up to the ceiling. There's no way to quarantine somebody here so that they can't affect everybody else. Plus, somebody had to take care of him, and it couldn't be me. That was my husband, who would then come out of my son's room and hang out with me. And we were like counting on it. We're gonna get sick. I even got the whole sore throat, fiery glass coming up, burning through my skin symptom. Nope, never got COVID. My husband didn't get COVID. We had gotten the boosters for the new kind that was not the new kind that they're talking about today, but the 2 weeks ago new kind. And I'm thankful for that, because I was very scared, especially because of my asthma. Anybody who listens to my video knows that my asthma goes through ups and downs lately. You can tell by my talking when it's having a problem. But so now, and we were supposed to go out to dinner one more time. We were supposed to go out to dinner for New Year's Eve, and we had the reservations to this place. It's, again, candlelight, beautiful. Was finally going to be able to wear the dress I'd planned on. And yeah, we sat home eating cookies and praying that we didn't get COVID. But my son's doing much better now. He's got his taste and his smell back for the most part. And
he's negative now, isn't he?
Yeah, I took his first negative test yesterday.
Yeah, negative now.
Yeah, so we're still going to do those things now. We're going to do those things, but shockingly, he doesn't want to go. So, I mean, it's not surprising. But we'll see how that works out. We'll see. But, because now is as good a time as any for him to go, because he's just had it. Go while you can, bud. Get out into that public. Go see a concert. Oh, my goodness. But for what we did get to do, it was actually magical and perfect and lovely. Christmas Eve and Christmas were beautiful, and I felt very blessed. So there you go. I feel very blessed still, because my son is on the mend, and we still got stuff to do to look forward to. But it's not going to be Christmas anymore. That's okay. Before you know it, it's going to be back here again.
That's it. Christmas again soon.
Yeah, Christmas again soon. I haven't told you, Rob, but maybe I did. But I got online and I bought Christmas decorations for next year. And already, oh, I hate myself. But it had to be done because it's gonna be here any second now. We're gonna, I'm gonna hit my birthday. Then it's gonna be June, and then after July, it just flies by. Like July turns into September without. I think we skip August, and then September turns into Christmas. I don't know how it works these days, but it's fast. So that was the reason I wasn't on here, um, really doing videos because first off, my husband was on vacation and I wanted to spend the time with him, and then my son was sleeping 24 hours a day, and I didn't want to wake him up and disturb him. He needed to sleep. So sorry about that. But there you go, Rob.
Well, I think, consider how much you planned everything, it went really, really well.
I think so too.
I think
I'm not. Go ahead.
I think sometimes when you do plan it a lot, it can it can be excuse me, it can be quite difficult for it to live up to.
Yeah.
But but yours went really, other than the fact that Josh got COVID,
Yeah.
which was, there was nothing you could have done about that really.
Yeah.
I think I think it went really well for you.
I did too because my expectations were really high, and um, that generally sets everybody up for a letdown.
But it didn't though this year.
It didn't though. We decided that what, we were just going to roll with the punches. We weren't going to be let down. It was what it was. There's nothing we could do about anything to change it. And the 2 days that were most important to me to celebrate and be magical, um, they were great. Um, it was lovely and beautiful and um, relaxed, and yeah, I I didn't uh, I didn't let that I have a tendency to start mourning Christmas past before
Yeah,
Christmas gets here.
yeah. Worrying that, it's going to be over soon. So
Yeah, it's gonna be over soon. Oh God, I start to turn into Eeyore. But this year I didn't do that,
no.
and so I was pretty proud of myself. Actually, that was pretty good for me. So, and after Christmas, my husband still had like several several days for vacation, and it was fun hanging out with him. We don't get any time to just do that, hang out and watch movies. Watched a lot of movies, huh, Rob?
Well, this has been the first year that he's had proper leave, really,
Yeah, yeah,
which I think made it even more special for you.
yeah, yeah. He has. They just I think it was 2020 that their company, him and two other people started a company, um, and 2020, perfect timing. But it was okay because it's a bit it's a what is the word I'm looking for? It was something that was considered necessary, so they still you know were able to work through that whole thing, and because of that, he's like works 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, and we don't see him very much, and so it was really nice
Mm.
to have so much time, and the company dinner that they had was really beautiful, and I got to sit across one of the employees that I'd never met before. I don't really meet anybody because I have no reason to be there. You know, it's, I have no reason to be around there. So, um, anyway, I think he was like 22 years old or something. A little round baby face, and he was adorable and funny. We had the best time, him and I. And, you know, uh, it's a very sarcastic group of people that, you know, get a little bit of snarkiness and teasing and ribbing and enjoy that greatly. So as soon as you let on that you're like that, then you're, um, well, you get it. And so him and I were just making fun of people basically, and it was great. Even that, which I literally been looking forward to this company dinner for a year since the last one. And it was 100% better than the last one. So, uh, even that was really, really beyond my expectations and great. And so I really had a great holiday season. I keep saying great, 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 but I really did. And my intention was to not let some stuff in that's going on personally, um, in our lives, really, really wanted to not let it get me down. Last year, I really struggled through Christmas, and I was against that. I was against that. I took a vote, and I voted no. No, we are not doing that again. We're gonna be happy if it's the last fucking thing we do,
Yeah, you
and
will be. You will
you
have a.
will be happy, or the beating shall commence. Uh, and it was a lovely gift. So there you go.
Glad you had a nice time.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it to be Christmas again.
It won't
I
be
like
long.
it. It won't be long. It won't. It'll be coming quick.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes, and you, my friend, had quite the New Year's Eve.
Oh, don't even go there.
Quite the New Year's Eve. Uh,
Oh,
I get, in general, I usually get nightly calls from Rob, and yeah, I didn't hear from Rob. Rob was trying to recover.
oh, oh. Yeah, it was. I'm getting old.
You can't party like you used to.
Tell me about it. I'm still getting over it. Excuse me. Still getting over it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Being cracked.
Well, I'm looking forward to this coming year, and because it's January, I will start putting stuff away for Halloween, and I actually get excited about that. I think that's fun. I just did the Devil's Tramping Ground,
Mm.
and as I was doing the Devil's Tramping Ground, I was like, oh, this should have been done in Halloween. This is a Halloween story because it had the history of like the devil and Scottish Irish bringing the devil and with their culture and stuff like that.
Devil in
It
the deep
was it,
sea.
it was really would have been perfect. And I kept thinking, this is not a January story. It's an October story. But I put ideas down too, so we'll we'll be having a lot of fun this year. I'm excited. I started several segments that we can do throughout the year, which I'm excited about. And it's gotten, I think, pretty good what's the word I'm looking for? Like reception, pretty good. People seem to
Um,
be liking it.
yeah, I know what you mean.
So that's fun. I really like that. I have a video coming up about a woman about a missing person, and it's of course strange, which is lovely. And I am obsessed. For those of you in America, I am obsessed with this whole Idaho murder of the 4 students at the University of Idaho. I have a personal connection to this uh, particular area that it happened in. And at one point in my 20s, I had a not very sober night spent in the neighbor's house of the house that the murders were committed in. And even the neighbor's house had a really I would have thought it would be the neighbor's house because the neighbor's house had a really bad feel, and a lot of people talk about this house having had a really bad feeling to it. So it might be this general area that has a really bad feeling to it. But I am obsessed with these 4 murders and the guy that they arrested. If you guys want to talk about that, by the way, down below, let's do that. Um, because it's like I said to you, Rob, you know, killings and, serial killer stuff kind of slowed way down during COVID, but it's ramping up. And
Mm.
I don't know if I've talked to you about it, but I mean, the guy they arrested for it is like, he's got a master's degree in criminology. And so I think he thought he was smarter than he is, like common sense smarter than he was. I think he thought his book education would be all he needed to rely on when there were some common sense things that he didn't rely on.
Do you think in general, maybe serial killers are getting more savvy to police procedures and stuff, and
Of course they have to be. I mean, really, they do have to be. But this guy did some real dumb stuff. Like, uh, first off, he's innocent until he's proven guilty. Uh, but he like turned his phone off when he was committing the murders. But he didn't wait till he got home to turn his phone back on. He turned it on earlier than that, which is like,
right, yeah,
he didn't think about the fact that both universities, it's across the street from the Washington State University. Well, like sort of, it's not across the street, but very close. So there's the University of Idaho, Washington State University. They both had big games that that night, the night of the murder. So that drew a bunch of people into town, made everybody staying up later. That made them a lot more like witnesses, and and I he, I don't think he. There's so many students. There's like 25 students to go to University of Idaho and 27,000 the University of Washington. That they have a lot of cameras out there, which I don't think he took into account because he went to school in a college that had like a university that had like I think they said 5,000 students or something in a town that had 13,000 people, and I don't think he took into consideration the amount of cameras that you can't kill anybody anymore. Everybody's got a Ring doorbell, right?
don't be
You,
wrong.
you can't go anywhere, and without being on or some businesses security. Every business has security cameras. You just it's. I think that he thought his education was going to come in real handy, but and obviously, I mean, you would think that having this, I think he was going to graduate with a doctorate in like criminal forensic science or something. Um, so, he thought he was smart. He is smart, but that doesn't mean you're not dumb. He's he's intelligent, but that doesn't mean you're not dumb. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because common sense, you can be book smart all day long, but there's also the reality of living in a world and the things that come up.
I wonder if he wanted to study criminology and all that kind of stuff because he wanted to be a serial killer. Or
I think so. People that knew him previously, first off, he's 28 years old right now. He looks like the spitting image of of you know, Robb, the guy who was a lawyer and a doctor.
oh, Bundy.
He's a spitting image of Ted Bundy. When you look at him, you're like, he looks really familiar. Yeah, he looks like Ted Bundy. And the ironic part was that um, he had this guy had come here to finish his schooling, um, but he went to a university in Washington State, just like Ted Bundy.
Oh,
That's
I
what
didn't know that.
Ted Bundy had done the same thing. He's, but he apparently he'd been a heroin addict when he was younger. But he would make comments to people like, "What would you do if somebody tried to stab you?" And would had been kicked out of bars. Like I said, Pullman, which is where the murders happened, and Moscow, Idaho. No, Pullman, Washington, and Moscow, Idaho, are right next to each other. They border each other, so it's you know uh, you just go back and forth, and nobody ever thinks about it. But he got kicked out of bars. Moscow is there's a lot of bars. I used to a friend of mine and I used to go every year. We don't want to talk about it. Um, but he got kicked out of several bars because people would be like, this guy is a freaky deek and he's talking about killing people. Supposedly, he belonged to this, um, you know, um, so you act out you get these group of people and they're like, say, maybe they're Dungeons and Dragons fans. So they act out these Dungeons and Dragons scenarios.
Gosh.
Or, furries. And so they act out these things, right? Well, he apparently belonged to this murder thing group where they would like get together and talk about what would be the perfect murder. How could you get away with the perfect murder? Um, they named their club after this certain kind of a brand of duct tape, which I can't remember. But and so he would give his ideas about how you could get away with perfect murder and about stabbing. He uh, like staked out this particular house for a long time. They have him driving by and staking out at least 12 times. And then they figure once he decided on this house, he probably started turning his phone off. Because anybody who watches anything knows that they're going to ping your cell phone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just everybody knows that. So they figure he probably did it many more times. He just barely missed the guy who they ordered Grubhub. So they ordered food delivered at 4 o'clock in the morning. They think the murders probably started about 15, 20 minutes later. He just barely missed the Grubhub guy. He wasn't expecting them to be awake. because after watching him for so long, they had a routine and they go to sleep and stuff. But because they'd had these two big games on either side of the street, and all the bars were open and stuff like that, and everybody was in a hyped up mood. The situation was different from the other times he'd been there, which he didn't plan well. Um, you guys, I just did a whole video on it. There you go. But if please talk about it below, because you would think that somebody who went to school for what he went to school for, I could have done a better job than this guy. And the police weren't telling anybody anything. The parents were going on TV saying the police aren't doing anything. They don't have a suspect. They're not, it's not active. They're not doing enough. And the whole time it's believed now that they knew that this guy was the guy and that they were just giving him some rope.
Yeah, tying himself.
Yeah. So, he traveled, his dad came and picked him up, in Idaho, and they traveled to Pennsylvania is where he lives. Traveled by car to Pennsylvania. I don't know what would possess you to do that, but the cops stopped him twice, and it's thought that perhaps at least one of the times the cops stopped him, they stopped him because they wanted to get a picture of him driving that car, like in it, a clear photo, like this is his car.
Yeah.
And that maybe they needed some to stop him for a little while to give the FBI a chance to catch up. But he got stopped twice. He was let go both times without a ticket. So they figured that was probably planned. But when they asked him, like, where are you coming from? He was like, oh, out west. And his dad was like, no, we just came from Moscow, Idaho. And he goes to college. He goes to college there, and he's getting his master's and blah, 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 blah. And in the picture, you can see him, like, looking at his dad like, shut the fuck up. And then he said, where are you going to now? Oh, we're going out east. And his dad was like, no, we're going to blah, 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 blah. Like, his dad, he's lucky he made it alive. His dad was just like, I'm an open book. And, but he has a sister who's a psychiatrist, and they think that he had told his sister some stuff. And so, and because she's a psychiatrist, if he hires her, she won't be allowed to testify against him. So I mean, it's crazy. It's so crazy. But you should look him up and look at the resemblance between him and Ted Bundy. They keep overlaying the picture of him, and it's like his reincarnation. Weird.
Don't look at that.
Yeah. Both in law, both studied law, both went to universities in Washington. Oh, and they think that he is in touch with the BK killer. They think that they were pen pals, although the BK killer says, I don't know the guy. Well, of course you're going to say that, right? But if the BK killer could kill people through someone else, wouldn't that be perfect for a serial killer?
Yeah.
Of course, he picked.
Yeah,
it's yeah, perfect. They make movies about that shit. So anyway, his daughter says that she thinks that they were not the 28-year-old's daughter, but the BK killer's daughter says she thinks that they were in touch with each other, and so I can't wait for the documentary to come out. I was like praying, like day one of this killing, that somebody started a documentary because it was so unusual, and there was two other people in the house that survived, and it's just anyway. I'm talking about it too much. It's weird, Tracy. You don't have to get that excited about it.
Yeah.
I would just, man, it really makes me wish I had gone to school to be in the FBI.
I was going to say to be a serial killer.
Really makes me wish I'd gone to school for forensics. Well, my daughter, who's obsessed with serial killers, she wanted to be in the FBI and do forensics. I should, that's. She is a little mean. Masson. Rob, talking about Masson. Maybe I should rethink all those years of encouragement for that. Um, but I mean, this is a smart thing to do, don't you think?
It is, but it's very premeditated, isn't it?
Holy crap! Yeah. Seriously, like before you graduate from high school, and his high school friends said that he was like, quiet and blah blah blah, and the girls that he killed, the description, the worst thing you can do and survive in this world is light up a room.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
Okay. My watch says that she didn't catch it. Can I try again? The worst thing you can do and survive in this world is light up a room, because that's what they say about every woman who's ever killed. Maybe not the
I don't understand.
prostitutes. They say she lit up a room.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, sorry. Now I understand.
She always has a smile on her face. She lit up a room.
Right.
You know,
Sorry. I didn't
the
realize.
last thing you want to do in this life is, if you're a female, is light up a room. Because somebody on Dateline is going to be talking about it. But it's just crazy. So if you guys want to talk about it below, go ahead. Wish I could give my phone number because we could do this for a long time. Rob, is there anything else you want to talk about besides me and my obsession with the murder and my Christmas? Sorry.
I think you've
This
covered.
is how podcasts get thrown away.
But this one's been all right. Don't throw this one away.
Okay.
Yeah, you tend to. I think you overact sometimes a little bit and tend. Right, that's it. It's no good.
You think so? With those other two, you think so?
Well, I thought. Well, I can only remember the one that you threw away.
Me
So I don't know
too.
about
Me
the other one.
too. There was another one, and then I don't remember what it was about either, but we did throw away two.
But the one we
Oh,
threw away that we both remember, I didn't think it was that bad.
I think we rescheduled it. Maybe that's the thing. We threw it away and then we rescheduled it, and I was like, no, I'm done talking about it.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. It was what was it? Oh, God. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we didn't do it in the end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's gonna really piss me off all day.
All right, I won't throw this one away. Hey, if you guys want to below, leave me your comments. How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? How did it go? Did you get anything that was particularly special? Did you not? Did you just have a terrible time? Because I'll admit,
Oh,
not this Christmas, but last Christmas was like, it was a swamp. It was a swamp. But tell us, share with us how yours went, and let the community know.
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think what that bloody podcast was.
I know. It was last year, Rob. All right, you guys.
Yeah.
Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe, because then you'll be notified when my content goes live. And I don't usually sit here and, well, I do. I talk a lot. They do. That's a lie. But if you like that kind of thing, go ahead and subscribe. You want to say goodnight, Rob?
Good night, Rob.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys. Sorry about that. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.